In the quiet town of Willow Creek, Lily Parker was loved for her warm smile and kind heart. Her bright laugh and quick thinking made everyone feel happy, from kids to old folks at the hospital where she worked. Lily, 26, was smart, always fixing problems. Even with her tough life, she stayed sweet. She lived in a tiny old apartment where the roof leaked into a bucket, and the only light bulb barely stayed on. Lily sat on a weak chair, holding her 3-year-old son, Mason, whose big brown eyes were so bright, even though he was skinny. "Mama, our roof's crying louder than my tummy," he said, pointing up. The fridge had one old apple and a bit of peanut butter, nothing else. Lily's bank had $2.84, not enough for milk. She hadn't eaten much in days, and her old sweater didn't keep her warm. She worked long hours as a nurse at Willow Creek Hospital, but mean notes from her landlord were stuck on her door, and he kept calling, really mad. Lily sold her mom's special necklace to buy milk and her only jacket to get Mason shoes, so she was cold in a thin shirt. She got all A's in school and dreamed of being a doctor, but having Mason at 22 meant she could only be a nurse. Her mean coworkers called her the baby mom and always talking down at how smart she was. One stormy night, with rain hitting the roof, Lily, desperate for food money, grabbed Mason's toy phone by mistake, thinking it was hers. Shaking, she sent a text to what she thought was a food pantry. "Please, my son needs food. Help us." Her heart stopped when she realized the number wasn't the pantry's. It was a mystery number. She didn't know it went to Caleb Shaw, a 35-year-old super-rich guy who owned the town's factories. In his huge, quiet mansion, Caleb checked his secret phone, hidden even from his closest helpers. A strange text from an unknown number lit up the screen, making his pulse race. His assistant warned it could be a trap. Caleb, who didn't trust people after inheriting tons of money from his parents' factories when they died, stayed away from most folks. His cousins, especially Chloe Bennett, a fancy town council lady with a fake smile, thought his money should be theirs. Caleb only trusted his kind uncle Walter, who was in the hospital with a bad cough. The text about a hungry kid hit Caleb hard, bring back memories of his own poor childhood. Chloe's cousin Owen, a guy who handled family stuff, said, "It's a liar after your cash." But Caleb's gut told him to dig deeper. He traced the number to Lily Parker, who from further digging he found out to be a nurse in town. His heart beating fast. Was she another trickster, or was it a mistake? He had to find out. At the hospital, Caleb spotted Lily in old nurse clothes, her face tired but kind as she caught a mistake on a patient's chart, saving a life. Walter said she had a big heart and a super smart brain. Caleb knew she sent the text, and she didn't look like a liar, just a mom fighting to survive. Lily saw him staring and froze, her heart racing. His fancy coat and quiet eyes made him seem like a mysterious figure, maybe dangerous. At the town fair, where Lily helped at the first aid booth, fixing a kid's scraped knee with a funny joke, Mason ran to Caleb. "Your hat's cooler than a king's," he said. Caleb laughed, liking Mason's silly talk. "You're a fun kid," he said, as Lily ran over embarrassed. When Caleb whispered, "I got your text about Mason needing food," Lily's face burned red. "Oh no, that was your number. That was a mistake," she said, looking down, her voice shaky. "I thought it was the food pantry. We don't need your help. We're okay." She felt bad that a rich guy knew she was poor. It made her feel small and scared. What if he told everyone? Caleb saw her nervous face and Mason's tiny shoes. "Just let me help a bit," he said kindly, slipping $200 into her hand for it's for the kid. Lily wanted to push it back to keep her pride, but Mason's hungry smile and Caleb's warm eyes made her pause. "Just this time," she said quietly, her heart beating with a mix of shame and a strange, warm feeling. Caleb couldn't remove Lily and Mason from his mind. Their faces haunted him during long factory days, Mason's Kingman nickname making him smile, Lily's strong heart making him feel soft inside. He wanted to keep them safe, take Mason to the Science Museum to see planets, and show Lily the city lights from his airplane. But his super long work days left him so tired he could only text Lily goodnight. One rainy Friday, desperate to see them, he drove to their apartment with daisies, Lily's favorite flower, he learned from Walter. His stomach dropped when he saw the apartment locked tight, a padlock shining in the dim streetlight. A neighbor, Mrs. Jenkins, whispered, "They got kicked out 2 days ago. The mean landlord threw them out. They're in a shelter downtown." Caleb felt a chill, like he'd failed them. Had someone set this up? He raced to every shelter in town, his fancy car speeding through dark, wet streets, his heart filled with worry. At a dirty, crowded shelter, he found Lily on a cot, cold in a thin shirt, hugging Mason under a torn blanket. "We're okay," she told Mason, her voice strong but shaky. Mason held his toy spaceship, whispering, "King Man'll find us, Mama." Caleb knelt down, his nice coat getting dusty. "I'm here," he said softly. Lily looked up, eyes wide with fear. "We don't need your help," she said, trying to sound tough, her cheeks red from the text mix-up. But when Caleb gave Mason a candy bar and brought blankets for others, thanking a worker by name, she saw he was kind. "Let me keep you safe," he said, his voice steady but urgent. Lily's pride screamed no. She hated feeling weak, but Mason's happy king man and Caleb's honest eyes broke her down. After a tense pause, her shoulders sagged, and she nodded, letting him lead them to his car, a tiny spark of trust fighting her fear of who might be watching. Caleb moved them into a big, cozy house he owned, with 5 bedrooms, a huge living room with tall windows letting in bright sunlight, and a backyard with a swing set and a little treehouse painted blue. The house had soft cream carpets, a bright kitchen full of Mason's favorite peanut butter, and a spaceship bed that made Mason shout, "This is better than a rocket." Lily walked through the house, her eyes wide, touching the smooth wooden staircase and the fluffy pillows on the cozy couch. She thought, "I never thought I could live in a place this big and pretty. It's like a dream house from a storybook. Me, a poor nurse, in a house like this? It feels like magic." Mason ran through the big rooms, his laughter bouncing off the walls, as he zoomed his toy spaceship across a giant playroom with shelves for his toys and a soft rug for building block towers. The house felt warm and safe, with sunny yellow walls, cozy blankets, and a fireplace, making it feel like a real home they'd never had. Caleb made sure they never went hungry, showing up every few days with bags of groceries, fresh apples, warm bread, milk, chicken, chocolate cookies for Mason, and Lily's favorite strawberries. Lily and Mason loved having him around. He'd stay for dinner, telling Mason silly stories about talking robots or making funny faces, and Lily's heart felt full seeing Mason so happy. Caleb spoiled Mason with cool toys, a remote control spaceship that zoomed, a shiny robot that talked, a rocket-building kit with colorful parts. Mason ran to him every day yelling, "King Man, you're awesome." Mason's hugs and questions like, "Are you my dad now?" made Caleb's eyes watery. He played with Mason for hours, making block towers or showing him stars through a telescope in the big backyard. "This is cooler than a castle," Mason said, drawing Caleb with a paper crown. Lily watched, her heart getting soft as Caleb fixed a leaky pipe himself or made silly faces to make Mason laugh. Caleb called every night, put a guard by the house to keep them safe, and gave Lily little gifts, a notebook for her dreams, daisies, that made her cheeks red. Lily was scared a rich guy could love someone like her, a poor mom with nothing fancy. "Why me?" she asked one night, her voice quiet. Caleb held her face gently. "Because you're strong, kind, and real," he said. His words made her feel special, easing her fears. One night, by a backyard fire, he put a blanket over her shoulders, his hand staying on hers. "You're amazing, Lily," he said, their eyes meeting. Their soft kiss made her head spin, and Mason laughed. "Mama's all smiley with King Man." Lily started to love Caleb's steady kindness, her heart jumping when he said, "You and Mason are my home," though a shadow of doubt lingered. Could this happiness last? Caleb wanted Lily to feel as pretty as he saw her. He took her to a fancy salon, where they made her messy hair into shiny, smooth waves and put makeup on her sparkly hazel eyes. Lily looked in the mirror and gasped. "I didn't know I could look this good," she said, surprised at the fancy lady looking back. Caleb thought she was the most beautiful, kind woman he'd ever met, her new look making her shine even more. He gave her nice dresses, warm coats, and soft scarves, making her look like a high-class lady. But her sweet smile stayed the same. Caleb thought, "She's always been awesome, and now everyone sees it." Lily felt like a princess, her confidence growing big, but she still wondered if someone was out to ruin it. Chloe Bennett, the fancy council lady, was burning with anger. With her shiny blonde hair and high heels, she wanted Caleb's money and to be his girlfriend, thinking they were already close before Lily showed up. She'd flirted with Caleb at big parties, sat next to him at meetings, and danced with him once. Sure, he liked her. Lily, a plain nurse, was stealing her dream of big houses and being the town's queen. Chloe made mean plans, each one worse than the last. She paid Lily's landlord to kick her out, sending Lily and Mason to a crowded shelter, hoping it would make Lily look weak and push Caleb away. It didn't work. Caleb saved them, but Chloe's spies reported back, making her plot darker. At the town's harvest picnic, Chloe accidentally spilled juice on Lily's shirt, laughing, "Oops, clumsy nurse," to make her look silly, her eyes darting to see if Caleb noticed. Caleb helped Lily clean up, saying, "You still look nice," ignoring Chloe's sparkly dress. At a factory party, Chloe whispered to everyone that Lily was only nice to Caleb for his money, smiling at him to win him over. Caleb stopped the gossip, saying nice things about Lily's care for Walter, holding her hand. At a winter dance, Chloe paid a waiter to spill wine on Lily's dress, making her wear a plain skirt, then said to Caleb, "We'd be great together." Caleb said, "No way," and went to paint a star on Mason's cheek with Lily. Chloe's worst plan was stealing money from Caleb's factories by making fake papers, using pretend company names like Bennett Supplies to get cash for her fancy dreams. She also paid a shady guy to lie that Lily stole hospital stuff, spreading the rumor through whispered phone calls to make Lily look bad. Caleb found out it was a lie and confronted Chloe in her fancy apartment, his voice cold. "Stop it, or I'll tell everyone what you've done." He put extra guards around Lily and Mason, but Chloe's final glare hinted she might try one last trick. Lily was really smart. In the town library, she found an old newspaper from 5 years ago, yellow and hidden in a dusty box under a creaky shelf. It talked about a fake company called Bennett Supplies tied to Chloe's family that got money from Caleb's factories. Lily's heart raced as she dug deeper, finding bank papers showing strange payments to this fake company, like $10,000 and $15,000 going to Chloe's secret account. She also found emails Chloe sent to a bad guy named Tony, telling him to make fake bills with Bennett Supplies logos to trick Caleb's factory into paying her. One email said, "Make sure no one finds out or we're done." Another had a creepy note, "Get rid of that nurse if she gets too close." Lily's hands shook as she copied the papers, her breath fast, knowing this could stop Chloe, but scared of what she might do next. At a town meeting, she stood up, her voice strong even with Chloe's mean stare. She showed the newspaper, bank papers, and emails to everyone, explaining how Chloe stole money. The crowd gasped, and Chloe's face went white. The council kicked her out, her dreams of being a queen gone. Caleb made sure Chloe left town for good, his guards watching every move. When Caleb took Lily to meet Walter, he drove her to Walter's huge house on a hill, so big it looked like a castle to Lily. The front had tall white pillars, and inside were shiny wood floors, a wide staircase with a red carpet, and walls with old family photos and paintings of boats. A giant window showed a garden with bright roses, tulips, and a fountain that sprayed water like sparkles. Walter, sitting in a soft chair by a warm fireplace, looked healthy again, his cheeks pink and his smile big. Lily had taken great care of him in the hospital, sitting by his bed when he was scared, holding his hand during hard tests, and telling him funny stories about Mason to make him laugh. She'd caught a big mix-up with his cough medicine that could have made him sicker, checking his chart 3 times to be sure. She even sneaked him homemade chicken soup one night, hiding it from her mean boss, and read him a book about fishing to help him sleep. Walter's recovery was a big deal. When he first came to the hospital, he could hardly breathe, coughing all night and too weak to sit up. His fever was high, and doctors thought he might not make it. Lily stayed late, checking his air levels, fixing his pillows, and singing a soft song when he couldn't sleep. She worked with doctors to try a new medicine that helped his lungs get stronger, and she made a chart to track his breathing every hour. She brought him a small plant to cheer up his room and walked with him in the hospital garden when he got a bit stronger, holding his arm so he wouldn't fall. Soon, he was walking on his own, laughing again. Walter hugged Lily tight, saying, "You saved my life, Lily. You're kind and smart, and you made me feel like family." He turned to Caleb, his eyes shiny with tears. "I always prayed you'd find a humble, kind woman like Lily, not someone after your money. She's the perfect choice for a wife, Caleb. Her heart's bigger than this house." Caleb smiled proud, thinking Lily's big heart and smart brain were why he loved her so much. Walter's words made him feel sure he'd found his forever, though he wondered if any of Chloe's schemes lingered. Caleb changed Lily and Mason's lives in big ways. He paid for Lily's classes to become a better nurse, and she got all A's, her smart brain shining. He built a new hospital part named after Lily, with cool machines to help sick people. For Mason, Caleb made a money fund for college and put him in a preschool with a science room full of microscopes and star charts, where Mason's brain developed more. Caleb took them on fun trips, to a planet place where Mason gasped at glowing stars, and a beach where Caleb helped Mason build a giant sandcastle with a moat. He got tutors to teach Mason about planets, and a new car for Lily so she could drive to work easily. Lily finally saw his help as love, not just giving stuff, and her pride let her accept it. One fall night by Willow Creek Lake, with twinkly lights in the trees and soft music playing, Caleb got on one knee, holding a shiny blue ring. "You and Mason are my whole world," he said, his voice shaking. Lily's teary yes made Mason cheer. Their wedding was a huge party in a garden covered with rose arches. Lily looked like a princess in a white dress with lacy sleeves that sparkled in the sun. Mason was the ring holder, wearing a tiny suit and a little crown grinning big. Tons of people came, clapping as they saw a giant cake topped with sugar stars. A band played happy songs and Caleb and Lily danced, his eyes always on her. Walter, all better, gave a speech saying, "Lily's like my daughter. She saved me, and she'll make Caleb so happy." Fireworks lit up the sky, and Mason shouted, "King Man's the best dad." Caleb, once lonely, found his happy place with Lily's kind heart and Mason's big smile. Their cozy home was full of laughs, late-night talks, and Mason's drawings of King Man with a crown. Lily's hospital wing and Mason's bright future showed how Caleb's love made their lives awesome forever, even as Lily sometimes glanced out the window, wondering if Chloe's shadow was truly gone.